Anyhow, nobody likes Shakuni. We all know that. But what I wanted to show in the story was that Shakuni Mama was not born. He was made. That is why
Wow.
I gave the previous story of how he got his life. He would have died. He
This
was
was so profound, ma'am.
it,
Shakuni Mama was not born, he was made.
he was made.
Unbelievable. Yes, yes. Please, ma'am, carry on.
Actually, what happened was that his father Subal, his sister was Gandhari, you know that, and uh, Subal married his daughter to the Kuru clan. How did this happen? Because Bhishma, he came to attack Gandhar, and seeing Gandhari, the daughter of Subal, he said that I am going to marry Gandhari to my brother Dhritarashtra, who is blind. Subal said, you marry him, you marry her. Why do you have conquered my country? Why don't you marry her? He said, no, no, I am celibate. I have taken a vow that I will not marry. So the next in line is my brother Dhritarashtra. He is blind, but that is no matter. He is the king. So your daughter will marry a king. Now, after this, what happened is this: Gandhari came to uh, the Kuru Vansh. She bore 100 sons. Her father also, by the way, had 100 sons. I mentioned it in my
Okay.
I mentioned it in my story that it must have been hereditary because Subal had
I don't remember it. I don't remember it, but now when you say it, it's like, I mean, this is very different, you know. This is not a genetical trait that you want to inherit.
I don't know. Maybe in
For,
those days they did want to inherit it because 100 sons
yeah,
was something they. If you remember the story of Savitri and Satyavan, Savitri also, if you remember, begged 100 sons from Yama.
I heard about it. I don't know much, but I've heard about it.
So
It's so great to talk to you because you can always draw parallels from these different stories. That's really great.
now what is happening is this: Subal also had 100 sons and one daughter, Gandhari. Gandhari also bore 100 sons and one daughter, exactly the same. And Duryodhan was her eldest son. Much later, when Duryodhan was a stripling of a boy, he heard somewhere, by that time, he heard somewhere that his mother had been married off to a goat by his father. Bhim told him, right? Bhim told him that you are the son of a widow. He got very angry. I am the son of a widow. And he went to his mother and asked her. She said, no, no, I don't know anything about it. You go to Bhishma Pitamaha and ask him. Now, Duryodhan was very persistent. He found out the story. The story is this, that it was predicted that Gandhari's first husband would die. So she was married off to a goat, and the goat was killed, and then she was married to Dhritarashtra. Hearing of this, Duryodhan went off with an army to attack his grandfather's kingdom again, Subal's kingdom. and he captured Subal and the 100 sons, and with his army, of course. He was only a young boy then, and he said that the whole 101 people will get only one handful of rice to eat per day. One person. That means one person can be kept alive. Subal said that the cleverest person among us will live, all the others will die. The cleverest person will live to get revenge on the Kuru clan. And that is what happened. Shakuni proved that he was the most cunning. You can read the story. I have explained it very well. I'm not going to tell the story again. And ultimately, what happened, Shakuni saw each and every one of his brothers dying one by one and his father dying. Each time he took the oath that I am going to bring about the destruction of the Kuru clan. Not only because they have killed all of us, but also because my sister Gandhari is is almost blind. I mean, she has made herself blind by tying a cloth round her
The
eyes,
patti, yeah, the
patti
cloth,
round
yes,
her
yes.
eyes, so that she can be uh, she can be a true wife to her husband. Shakuni started taking revenge. At the end of the story, we find that when he sees all the sons of his own sister Gandhari, all 100 sons being killed one after another in the worst way possible by one person, that is Bhim. Because if you remember, Bhim took the oath that I, with my bare hands, I am going to kill each and every one of these brothers. And he did it. The way he killed Dushashan was horrible. Shakuni saw it with his own eyes. By the time he came to the end of the war, all the brothers had been killed. The Kuru clan was lying on the battlefield, dead. He has got what he wanted, but this is not what he wanted. Because now he finds that his sister Gandhari is totally bereaved. What have I done? This is what he's saying. I loved my brothers, I loved my father, I loved my sister. That is why I took revenge. But ultimately, I have brought this terrible thing happening to their family. I don't want to go back to Gandhar. I will be unhappy for the rest of my life.